My name's Calvin Waite, and I trade Bitcoin and cryptocurrency for a living. So just as yesterday, we have entered this green zone for Bitcoin, which looks really nice. Earlier today, we were a little bit down. I thought maybe we would get down to our little touch here at the top of our most recent resistance, but you can just feel the excitement in the air. There's just so much Bitcoin positivity that it's going to be hard to keep this down. So we may not be following every rule perfectly, and this might be the touch that we, it might be within range of what we're looking for our support. But we should be off. The only thing to look for now on Bitcoin is look very closely here. Our 50-day moving average is about to touch our 100. It's hard to say if it will or not, because our 100 is moving up. Let's see, we were at 10,765 and now we're at 10,788. So we went up by $23. And our Bitcoin, or our 50-day moving average, has only gone up by $2. So the question is will our 50 start sloping up, and will this be a near miss or will it be a cross? If it crosses, we might have a day or two of yellow, but nothing to be concerned about since we are above the 50. It will eventually turn. So pretty sweet looking chart right now. So this is why so many traders have trouble. They have a perfect opportunity, a perfect setup, and they miss. So they try again, and then they miss, and then they try again. And they just can't swing it. And so a lot of people get discouraged. There was nothing wrong with the setup. It doesn't always have to go your way. You simply keep trying, and eventually you'll get it. And as long as your strategy is solid, you'll overcome any of the losses that you might have taken on your big swings and misses. So for the market education section today, I wanted to talk about emotion. We are looking at Uniswap's token on the daily. And I just wanted to show you a little bit about what investors are feeling and how that plays out on a macro level. So on the bottom here, I have volume. So this is the volume of Uniswap tokens traded on Binance since they began trading. And then obviously here's the price. So our largest volume bar happened right here, right? So this is by far the moment where the most people were in and out. So for every buyer, there's a seller. When there's volume, it means that these tokens have swapped hands. But the question is whose emotion, who is the lingering person that is experiencing the motion after a trade? How is the seller emotional in this trade? No, it is the buyer. Every time a buyer enters the market, they are the fuel for the emotion. Buyers are the majority of emotion, because if people are sitting on the sidelines and they get overwhelmed with emotion, they become buyers. And when people exit, they might have regrets or they might have euphoria for their awesome trade, but their emotions are no longer affecting the price. So you have to look at a chart from an emotional standpoint. When we have a price that opened around 31,000 Satoshis, traded as high as about 80,000 Satoshis, we had this wild, crazy amount of trading. Well, it's the bag holders that are driving the emotion in this market. The majority of traders that are in Uniswap entered between 31 and 80,000 Satoshis. And so The second you make a trade, you will experience either excitement that your trade is going up, or you will feel disappointment when your trade starts going down. Well, all of the people that sold here are not going to impact the market. It's the people that have bought. So there was a significant amount of pain the very next day on 63,000 to 51,000 Satoshis. Anybody that bought above 52,000 Satoshis, anything right here, these traders are experiencing pain and fear. And so there were fewer that changed hands. So a good amount of these people have been experiencing some of this pain. And as the price continues to fall, the pain intensifies. So it's either, so after a couple of days, they will feel some relief. But as things begin to sell off, these traders experience more pain. And if they don't have a plan, or if they're newer traders, this will result in selling at the worst possible time, because when things accelerate, that's when fear increases. People can handle like a slow or a very slow sell-off. They'll check it once or twice a day and just be like, oh, dang it, we're down a little bit, we're down a little bit. But when things start to accelerate, you'll notice that the fear increases. See how this volume has gone up? And then we had a little bit of relief, but by now, so by this bar here on October 6th, everybody that bought on this day is experiencing fear. So if you have the highest volume and that entire bar is underwater, you have a problem in your market. Either the people are selling out and they are scared, or they're worried about losing their money and they're kind of wishing that they hadn't invested in the first place. And the only way to relieve that pressure is to sell. And then eventually you get through all the people that can't stomach that discomfort of being upside down in a position, and then prices will start stabilizing. That is why emotions drive markets. So when you look at a market, you have to think to yourself, where is the pain and where is the relief? So these little moves up are kind of relief days, and then it goes back in. But if you can kind of find a point where that pain has been alleviated, and then we've established a higher point, then you can kind of tell that all the people that didn't have the stomach are starting to they've already sold, or they're already out of this market. And people that are looking a little bit more optimistic will start getting in. The majority, though, they wait until the euphoria happens, and then they will end up buying these tops. We don't want to trade like that. So there's a coin I mentioned yesterday, and it's called Black Coin. And I just want you to see what people are experiencing. So this is a pretty dynamic example. Like, this coin has experienced almost no volume. Like, nobody has really been interested in this coin. And they're not interested until we have a day like this, when it shows up on the charts. When people sort by the highest gainers and they see that a coin's up 100%, they're like, wow, there must be something, I don't want to miss out on this. Well, if your coin is already gaining 100%, you've missed out already. You don't enter a trade like this. So we have a ton of buyers that have bought between 500 and 1,200 Satoshis. And all of these people are experiencing a roller coaster of emotions. And today, some of them, anyone that bought above 800 Satoshis, they are experiencing regret and a little bit of pain, and it scared some of them out. But this is going to bleed out until all of the people who can handle that pain, which is usually a pretty low number, that's why so few people make money in markets like this, they have to get out. So for example, this guy, he doesn't care. He's not experiencing any emotion. Emotion comes when you have something on the table. A lot of bag holders have walked away from projects and they've held forever, and the only time they sell is when it shows up on the news that, hey, X coin is up a certain amount, and people start getting interested again. So people leave markets because of emotion, and they will stay out until they have enough incentive to get back in. So the hype cycles can really drive this. Okay, so instead of doing a coin of the day today, there are so many coins that are down, and they've been down for a couple of days, that I kind of wanted to go rapid fire down a couple of coins and just kind of show you a couple of things. So Atom is one of the few that actually looks pretty nice. We have an awesome resistance level here that is flipping to support, where we've got support here. We also had resistance here that flipped to support, that stayed support, flipped to resistance twice, and now here we are. So as we come up this, we have increasing levels of support, and we have another swing that's likely to take us higher. We've been following our 50-day moving average, but this chart looks pretty awesome. Obviously, when we're in a green zone and flip to yellow, this is where we would normally take an exit, but that's if you entered here. If you're still holding or whatever, it is likely that there's a little bit of a battle to be waged, but the underlying structure looks pretty good. So this actually might flip as long as we don't drop pretty solidly below our 50 and 100. We should actually pull this one out. So definitely a decent looking chart. The rest of these, I just wanted to point out a couple of cool things. On the Bitcoin Cash chart, this was my long-term level, and look at this. I mean, sometimes it's kind of amazing how my lines just are just perfect. Today we touched my line and came right back down. So these long-term supports are definitely nothing to balk at. You have to really, they mean a lot to investors, especially over really long periods of time. So this is definitely a very powerful line. It might take us a few attempts to get above it, but I'm pretty confident we will. Ethereum, just really quick, it's looking awesome. We're finding support on 100. I'm still waiting on Dash. We're still in the red zone. Monero looks incredible, so it looks pretty strong. Daddy. Yeah. Come. Hmm? So what I like about Monero is that we've had these nice consolidation periods, and even after we've gone up, we've consolidated, and then we've gone up, and then we've consolidated, and then we've gone up, and then we've consolidated. So this is definitely very, very nice structure. Keep in mind we're in the green zone. We'll be in the green zone for a while though, because our 50 is down here at about 900,000 satoshis. So watch out for that. But for the meantime, I think we've got a nice slow rise coming. Once we start getting vertical, that's when we'll be looking for exits. But for now, it's a sweet ride. Litecoin, we're still in the red zone, waiting for that cross to get up out of there. I know I've mentioned Ethereum Classic a couple of times, but we just never closed above that 50. It's so crazy. I really thought we were going to, and so we're still waiting. And we have two supports here, so I would expect us to find a bottom at some point here, but it hasn't flipped to a buy yet, so I hope you're still staying patient there. EOS is another one I'm watching. We're still in a red zone, waiting for the right time on that one. XRP, someone asked about recently. Didn't look like we could hold this as support. Still, our day is not closed, but this chart doesn't look as pretty as it did before. But we're still watching, see where it heads next. BAT is one that I'm looking for an entrance. I thought we'd find support here, but we need more confirmation. We are not entering this at all until we find a good confirmation, and that hasn't happened yet. I've been watching Steam forever, waiting for us to get above the red zone, and we're getting closer, but still patient. So there's a lot of coins I'm just sitting on the sideline. Lumens actually was one that I'd really watched closely. I thought we would hold this line. If I take these averages off, it's easier to see. But you can see how we touched here and held it. I thought maybe we'd break above this, but we still had this declining resistance and didn't hold. So we're gonna have to wait and find a better handhold. So a lot of my trading right now, I'm on the sidelines, just waiting for the right opportunity. And that's what trading's all about. It's not, we don't trade when we're bored. We're not trying to force something to happen. We wait for the chart to come around and that the sentiment changes. So I hope that helps you guys out today. Hey, thanks for hanging on till the end of the video. If you liked anything I said, please support the channel by subscribing. If not, feel free to leave a comment and I'd be happy to take a look and make improvements to the channel so it'll be better next time.